For the literature review of this article, a common thing that the authors found was that there was an association between um, increased rates of marital distress and things like that that are associated with how women are participating in the workforce. And this is basically as a result of many things, such as how women have been able to go into the workforce, they've gotten more economic freedom, and basically how they're balancing the life of their household duties and their work duties. So, moving on, there are basically in dual pertaining to dual earner households, there are gender specific family characteristics that are very present in these types of relationships, and women are still shown to be doing most of the housework and taking care of the children as well, which could contribute to things like marital distress, decrease in marital quality, and marital quality can be affected by what these couples are perceiving to be as fair, which was also looked upon in this study. So, and in this study, they're really looking for a link between housework fairness, or the perception of housework fairness, and marital quality that results from the perception of housework fairness. So for the methods, the data comes from I think it's called marital instability over the life course, and this whole thing tested around 2,000 respondents, all of whom were married when first interviewed over an 8-year period. But really, the focus in this study was on almost 800 survey participants who were in dual earner marriages during the time of their interviews. So the variables that the authors considered were marital happiness, status in the marriage, how housework is split and how it's perceived as equal or not, and basically the standards as like age, race, things like that as well. So for the results, it was basically found that for people who viewed their housework as for people who thought they did more housework, they perceived they did more housework, they had lower marital status. So it was you could basically see the connection of how fairness of household labor is significantly associated with happiness, and this is true for both men and women in these cases. Going back to the fairness, the perceived fairness in the division of housework. For men, divorce was not really a direct result, but for women who viewed that they did more housework, they were twice more likely to get divorced than men were. So it really is important to look upon how gender roles have really been influencing housework, and how men and women how as a result of gender roles, how men and women are expecting themselves and their spouses to complete household work and things like that. So finally, for dual earner couples, it showed that more than half of women reported doing most, if not all, housework. So really, you'd have to look at gender roles and things like that to see further why there's such marital distress in women who perceive that they do more housework than men do.